C is here, yay.
Okay, it's 4:30. We will call the meeting to order. And before we start the presentations, we'll just make a little statement about procedures. All presenters, please limit your presentations to 5 minutes. That does not include the amount of time for questions and answers afterwards, so don't worry about that. For the public comment section, if there's anyone here for that, your time will be limited to 3 minutes, just like any other council city meeting. And then for the committee, I would ask that if you have a question after the presentations are over, to please raise your hand up so we can see it. I can't see hands when they just come over the edge, and wait patiently because we may have several people that would like to speak.
You see it? Hands on now? Okay, cool, thank you.
Okay, and thanks for everybody for showing up. We'll start with number 2 on the agenda, presentations from requesting organizations for the 2022 Community Development Program year. Who'd like to be first?
Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm the Executive Director at the Open Door of Marathon County. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. Open Door has been in existence for almost 11 years. In that time, we've helped over 5,000 individuals who were just released from jail or prison. These services include coffee, clothing, conversation, and basic assistance in obtaining resources. With the help of block grants, we've been able to become more organized and focused in our approach. Our mission statement is the Open Door is organized to provide charitable and educational services to meet the immediate needs of individuals who are currently incarcerated and or recently released from prison. Currently, with our one-on-one programs, we have 6 individuals providing services to our primary demographic of the current and recently released. We have provided one-on-one case management services to over 40 people since July 1st, with a goal to reach 100 by the end of December. We are now analyzing and evaluating our current program in depth to measure the effectiveness of these efforts. Our current staff is made up of 2 resource specialists, 3 case management assistants, and 1 certified case manager. Since we began the one-on-one services, we have realized there are others in the community with incarceration history that would benefit from our case management services. So we are asking for financial support in the next year to expand our ability to offer a professional, systematic approach to employ 8 individuals to provide these services. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Okay.
Ann,
Yep.
did we get the summary page for you? We did.
We
Okay.
did send it. Actually, you should have received 2 because Sarah sent the wrong numbers the first time. We were requesting 20,000. The first time she sent it, she was asking for 2. So she had the wrong number. You got
Okay.
the corrected one? Okay.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that we had it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Okay, thank you.
okay, great. Thank you.
Who'd like to be next?
Good afternoon, board members. I'm Sam Wessel. I'm the assistant planner. I've been here for about half a year, so I'm continuing to learn new names and faces. I staff the Bike Ped Advisory Committee, and they put together a top 10 list of bicycle and pedestrian improvement priorities last year before I got here. Only one of those has been built so far. That's the River Edge Trail crossing at Washington Street. These improvements were based on data and existing plans and studies that the city and county have done. And we plan to work with the engineering department to construct the remaining improvements. But as of now, there's no funding in the city budget for these projects. I learned that CDBG funding could be potentially used, so I worked with Tammy to put this application together for 2 projects from that priorities list. The first project would be replacing the crosswalk signal across Grand Avenue with RRFBs, which are the rectangular rapid flashing beacons at Henrietta Street. So these are brighter and faster than what's out there now. They're ideal for the longer crossings on streets below 40 miles per hour. And some studies are showing that drivers stop up to 90% of the time compared to the older signal types like what we have that are in the 10 to 20% range sometimes. So it's a series of LED lights on both sides of the road and then a set above on the pole, and they're activated by pedestrians, so they improve the pedestrian safety on one of our busiest corridors. The second project is 2 bike loop sensors in both directions on Washington Street where it crosses 6th Street. Normally, a green light favors 6th Street traffic, and a car can trip the detector to get the green on Washington, but bikes usually can't. We have one of these loops already on Kent Street down by Grand Avenue, but it's the first and only one that we have. But it would be essentially the same thing, getting cyclists safely across 6th Street without having to wait forever or chance it and just go during a red. So that's a crucial east-west connection downtown. It links cyclists from the west using the bridges over the river or the River Edge Trail to the routes further east on 7th Street and Prospect Avenue. Washington Street also allows cyclists to travel east and west more safely than Forest and Scott Streets, which tend to have the higher traffic volumes. Combined, these 2 projects serve about census tracts with a population of 2,500 residents. The crosswalk upgrade is also located near the Riverview Towers, which is quite a few people. And the budget would be $10,000 for the crosswalk and $4,000 for the 2 bike loops. Since engineering can install them in-house, that saves about half the project cost. So those would be double if we were to farm those out. And since downtown Wausau is a regional destination, not only is it serving these neighborhoods, but there's no way of knowing how many more people we could serve visiting the region as well. They seem like small projects, but they address the entire bike ped infrastructure as a whole by kind of bridging those crucial connections on the busier corridors. And using data from apps like Strava and Walk Score, we can see a heat map that those are 2 very highly trafficked areas. And now think of, those are the people who are on Strava, and for every person who's on Strava, how many more don't use the app and use those intersections every day. So we use data sources like that to track, hopefully a reduction in collisions, which people have seen elsewhere with similar projects in other communities. After housing, transportation is one of the biggest household expenses. Making downtown Wausau more walkable, bikeable, and livable saves individuals and families a lot of money while encouraging them to stay active in a safe way. And they remove a lot of barriers for residents in these immediate neighborhoods looking for access to jobs, churches, schools, and more. So thanks for reviewing the information and for listening. I can answer any questions you have.
I have a question, Sam.
Yeah.
On your application, you say number of persons households at 2. I take it that's an error
Yeah.
on your application.
That's not
Should be 2,500, right?
2,500.
Okay.
I know there was something was acting up with my fillable PDF, so
Yeah. Oh, we've been,
I apologize for that.
we've been having computer issues for a week.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, John?
Hi, Sam. This is John. I just wanted to ask if there's been any accidents or incidents that have been reported at these areas of interest.
Yeah, there's 2019. There was one at the crosswalk near Henrietta where a vehicle struck a pedestrian.
And it was fatal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
Yep.
one of our tenants. It was
Oh,
a sad day.
Yeah, the police department does keep track of the details of different collisions around town, but they sent that one over to me.
I've used the one on Kent Street. Works great.
Good.
I like it. I feel much safer.
And howdy there, Sam. This is Andy here. Just curious, you mentioned the 2 biking apps, Strava, and can you just say the other one?
So Walk Score, I don't know if that works the same as Strava. All I know is I've seen the heat map, and that's more of that takes into consideration more of the land uses and how likely you are to be more walkable to where you run your errands and where you work and stuff. Whereas Strava is more of I'm going to map my own route that I use, and then it's a heat map that results from user data.
Cool. And then, in your opinion, will this provide more flow for biking, pedestrians, and everything, kind of in that sense?
Yeah, one-ways are tricky, and so is Grand Avenue, just because of the limited right-of-way. So anything we can get to get them a little more friendly for people who are on foot or on a bike is good.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Sure.
Can she hear? Ruth, can you hear?
Hello, Ruth, can you hear us? Hello, Ruth.
Are you there, Ruth?
She's on mute. I
No,
see.
she's not on mute. Oh, now she's on mute.
Hello, Ruth.
No, she's not. Stop it.
Fighting.
there?
Now it's on unmute. Yeah, no?
She might be having some problems.
Yeah, okay. Who else would like to come up?
My name is Carol Wesley, and I'm with the Achieve Center. And we are proposing a project that we have been working on for several years. It is a treatment-focused childcare for children with neurodevelopmental disorders, chronic health problems, and physical challenges. The program is designed for children ages 20 months through 4 years. And it is a collaborative, multidisciplinary program which will provide intensive treatment, whether it is speech and language, physical therapy, occupational therapy, behavioral therapy, music therapy, into the child's day. So every child will receive whatever prescribed treatments that they are required to have. We will be cross-training child care providers as treatment assistants. And so when a child receives his or her treatment, say in the morning, the provider, the clinician, will give instructions to the assistants as to how to integrate that treatment into the child's day. We will also be providing early childhood education for 3 and 4-year-olds. We'll have a full-time nurse and a full-time teacher. We'll be employing an additional 15 to 17 people. What is the need? Why do we need this here in Wausau? According to the Department of Health and Services for the state of Wisconsin, in Marathon County in 2020, there were 1,415 live births. 15.1% of children in Wisconsin have developmental disabilities. Additionally, 17.5% of children in Wisconsin have special health care needs. This would mean that there are approximately 462 children of that 1,415 that were born in 2020 that could access this program. 1 in 6 families in Wisconsin, in Marathon County, a parent must leave their employment in order to care for their child with special health care needs. Additionally, most of the employers here in Marathon County have 50 or less employees, which means that they are not required to provide FMLA leave. Most of these children have multiple appointments for therapy each week. That means that they need speech and language therapy and physical therapy. That means the parent must leave their employment for those 2 appointments. If they need speech and language, OT, and PT, it means they're leaving 3 times. And if they need behavioral therapy on top of that, it means they're leaving their employment 4 times. Not many employers can tolerate that. There's a significant number of people, of parents, who really are desperate to find qualified care for these special children. In 2019, and we're doing a follow-up survey now, currently, we surveyed all of the child care providers in Marathon County, and none of them said that they would agree to take a child with complex needs. None of them. We likewise surveyed 150 parents, and all of them said their number one need is qualified child care, which could integrate treatment for their kids. It would change their lives. So, we are looking at developing this program. We're going to renovate the lower level of our building, which we own, and we're going to be expanding the building also to meet the services for these kids. It will be for 30 to 40 children. We'll be starting out with 30 with plans to grow to 40 children. They will be able to be with us through their 4th year, which means that we will do a 4-year kindergarten for them, with a focus on being able to get these children ready to a point where they can function in public school. In talking with special education teachers and coordinators in Marathon County, one of the biggest issues, the biggest roadblocks to these children is that frequently they're coming and they're not toilet trained yet. They're not able to feed themselves. They're not able to hold a crayon because they have not received the level of services necessary to be able to assist them to learn this. Additionally, families are desperate because the cost of insurance, of deductibles, the cost of care for these children, all these appointments, all these physicians' appointments, all these procedures that they have are extremely expensive. And for one parent to leave their employment means this family goes into close to poverty. And so with this, we are hoping that we'll be able to help parents stay in employment. We will be employing 17 new people. We will be partnering with North Central Healthcare in the training of these individuals. And all that is just in the 1st year. As we expand the program, we will expand the availability to more children, more families, and potentially, additionally, hiring more people. Thank you.
Any questions, anybody? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First and foremost, I just want to thank the committee the CDBG Advisory Board for their continued support of the Hmong American Center. And I just want to express my deep appreciation to both Tammy and also Shannon for their work throughout the years supporting the Hmong American Center's HMONG and YES program. HMONG stands for Help Making of the Next Generation, and YES stands for Empowering Youth Towards Educational Success. The HMONG and YES program is a unique program that as they both work hand in hand in addressing several concerns in the community. The YES program portion of the program is the educational support portion of the program, where we provide space, internet, supplies, and technologies to students to do their coursework properly. In addition, we have tutors that are available to help these students with their coursework. The HMONG youth program portion of the program is the community engagement and resume development portion of the program. The HMONG or Hmong portions allow students or youth or young adults to be engaged in our community through community involvement and career exploration. In addition, youth has access to various mentors who are in their career fields of choice, who coach and advise many of these students. As we know, Marathon County is struggling with what is known as the brain drain, where young residents leave central Wisconsin, namely the city of Wausau, and go elsewhere. The consequences of the brain drain has been detrimental to our local workforce and community. The Hmong American Center Center, Inc. believes that the best way to address this concern is through the community approach and supporting our students to be successful. The community approach revolves around the theory or idea of encouraging the students to participate, to become engaged, and invest in this community. So how do you achieve this exactly? When students are invested in this community through their family, socially, education-wise, and job, the chance of them moving away is a lot lower. So if the students feel that they have a chance to succeed here, there is a lower chance of them moving away. So how does the HMONG and YES program achieve this? The Hmong program, portion of the program, allows students to engage in this community through community experience and involvement. This enables the students and allows the students to plan, execute projects in the community, and get involved in large events such as the Hmong Wausau Festival, Wausau Hmong New Year, and Hmong Heritage Month. They sit on the planning committee and volunteer in a variety of roles. By encouraging our students to be involved with these activities, they feel they are a part of this community and take pride in what is occurring in their community. Their friends, their social network, mentors, and family all resides here. So, only few would go elsewhere. As a part of the HMONG youth portion of the program, we have a law enforcement career exploration program known as SOLAC. As we all know, there has been distrust between law enforcement and members of the minority community across the country. We all know that a key component to any relationship is trust. This program has bridged that trust and allowed young adults and youth, especially those in marginalized communities, to feel comfortable running towards individuals in uniforms instead of running away when they see someone in uniform. Not only that, because of their engagement in these activities, they continue to enhance their ability and develop their skills, such as their leadership skills, communication skills, organization skills, and so much more. Many of our youth and young adults has been recognized for their work across the state and has been seen as rising leaders in the Hmong community. So what happens if a student's grades begin to slip? In order for the students to participate in the HMONG youth program, their grades must remain above a 2.5 GPA. We work closely with the youth or young adults' parents, and when their grades begin to slip, I can guarantee you, their parents will let us know. Once this happens, we refer them to the YES program, portion of the program, where they receive the necessary educational support to succeed. Time and time again, we have realized this program is a valuable asset and investment in our community. During the pandemic, we noticed 100% of the students who continue to engage in our program continue to show a steady or even increase in attendance. We saw a drastic decline in those students that chose to no longer participate in our program. In addition, 100% of the youth and young adults who continues to engage in this program have attended a higher education institution. A couple of weeks ago, I had the pleasure of going with Chief Deputy Chad Billop to Wisconsin Rapids to talk about HAC's potential expansion of services into Wood County to service the Hmong community down there. We shared a little bit about the HMONG and YES program, and it was a pleasure to hear from the Chief Deputy mentioning to the Wood County law enforcement that our program has developed and produced several great candidates. As a matter of fact, he was hoping that those youth or students would apply to work with the sheriff's department. But it was even more entertaining to watch the law enforcement there begin to fight over which candidates would join their department. So our program is helping with empowering youth towards educational success, and with the funding from the Community Development Block Grant, we will use it to hire AmeriCorps members to continue to tutor and hire on our youth program to keep our youth program coordinator position funded. And with this funding from the CDBG grant, you will be helping us in making the next generation a greater generation. Thank you. If I would answer any questions if anyone has any questions specifically.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Corey Norbaum, and I'm representing the Lena Start Marathon County project. So basically, investing in early childhood development is probably one of the best investments that a community, a society can make. This has been borne out by Nobel laureate economists in terms of looking at what happens when we invest in early childhood. We know that the first 3 years of life actually account for more than 80% of brain development. And during that period of time, one of the most important things are interactions with caring adults. And we can think of that as language, that back and forth interaction that can occur between an adult and a child. And brain science shows that the pathways that develop are not just related to language, but they're also related to social and emotional development, other types of intellect, even math skills. So basically the success or the chances for success are improved greatly if those pathways are developed to their greatest potential in the first place. So we know that at age 3, a child's vocabulary can predict not only kindergarten readiness, but even going on to third grade reading level, high school graduation. It can even predict what happens in terms of whether a person has their chance of being incarcerated. So the program Lena Start Marathon County works on and addresses, it's a parent education program to help parents improve their ability to talk with their children, interact with their children in a way that improves the quantity and quality of talk that parents have at home. Parents are their child's first and best teacher, and basically this program focuses on their education. So the Lena program is kind of unique in the sense that it's not just talking with parents about what they should do, or it's not something that prescribes things that are outside of the realm of, like, okay, how could I ever do this? But basically what it does is it looks at everyday life and how in everyday life can we, through talking tips, make improvements in terms of our interactions. And it's coupled with measurement. And so children are able to wear a Lena device once per week. Their parents attend sessions with other parents. It's a group model once a week for 10 weeks. And they learn simple talking tips through these 10 weeks and also have these measurements. With these measurements, it's like a talk pedometer, or I call it a Fitbit for words, because basically parents can see over the course of 10 weeks where are they talking to their kids and where are they not. So basically they get a report every week that shows hour to hour when they're talking with their kids, how many turns in conversations, and then what kind of background TV noise or other speaker noise is going on. So it's not a report card. They're able to use that information to help, again, develop their own skills. So the program has been very successful, and I'm very grateful to the City of Wausau as far as block grants for funding. We've been able to fund personnel, the facilitators that work with these parents, people that care for their children when we're in person and able to be doing the classes, the devices and the technology that goes along with it, and recruitment of these families. Basically, we target low SES families because they are at highest risk for having the lowest amount of talk in their homes. SES doesn't mean that, like just because you are from a lower SES background doesn't mean that you don't talk to your children, but again, the chances are higher in families that there's a lot more stress and other issues going on, that they're just not having that same interaction as they might be in other higher income families. So we've worked with Head Start, we've worked with WIC, we've worked with social services, we talk with physician offices about, like what families might benefit most. We've now worked with, this is our 4th year, 250 families. We have over 80% graduation rate. And families definitely give good ratings in terms of they feel very happy with the program. So I'm again very grateful that you're listening to this presentation, and we would be very happy to continue working with families here in Wausau.
Thank you. Is there any questions? Okay.
People on WebEx, can you hear me now? Or can you talk to me so I can hear you? Nope, still can't hear you.
I saw Katie nodded her head. Lod did not respond.
Yeah. yet. I can see them nodding, I can't
Yeah,
hear them.
okay, yeah.
So I'm trying to figure it out. I will keep working on it, sorry.
Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Polly. I'm the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry for Wausau and Marathon County. I've submitted a request this year for a playground replacement of our Lincoln Tot lot. So it's in the Worley Park neighborhood off of 5th Avenue, kind of over by Lincoln School. It's only a 9-acre or 0.9-acre park, so a very small park. But it is got equipment there that actually I included in my summary page, a page from our outdoor recreation plan that kind of shows the park and the condition that it's in. We actually did a playground audit of some of our playgrounds with our city insurance company just a few months ago. And when we went to this park, he didn't even actually know how to address it because it is equipment that really shouldn't be in a public facility. It's a kind of a backyard equipment. It was built about 20 years ago. And it is something that we have on our plan to address all of the playgrounds over time. And some of them we've gotten funded for, and some of them we keep pushing off each year. So we're here because this one, with that audit, has really kind of risen to the top. It's a smaller playground. It's a smaller park. But it's set up really nicely within this neighborhood, easily accessible to the children and the families in this area. And it's got a nice, really nice path already through it that would remain. But we would take out the playground and the merry-go-round that also doesn't meet our current code as far as speed. It meets it for safety, but there's a speed on it that we need to address. We would take that out and we would replace it with more up-to-date equipment that would be accessible to all with the right surfacing as well as meet all of the codes. So that is what we're here to look at tonight, is just the request to help with replacement of that smaller neighborhood park that we have. Yeah. Any questions?
Andrew?
Hi, Jamie.
Hey.
Question, just very briefly, can you describe how a playground audit occurs and just kind of what are the steps taken? And I'm just curious about that.
Sure. We actually have two different types of playground audit. We have the one I mentioned with is our insurance company, where he does a brief overview of our play equipment we have a bucket of probes that they put in, and they'll check openings for head entrapments or entanglements. They'll check surfacing. They make sure all the bolts are tight. When they do that for the insurance company, it's more of a overarching look. Our staff, though, however, does do regular audits of our playground where we will specifically go through every single bolt and every single space. We do that before we open a playground after we replace it, and then every now and then we'll do it as just a check to make sure that we're still in compliance. Thank you.
I don't have a question, I just have a little comment here. And Jamie probably doesn't know this, but community development block grant funds were used to develop that lot. 20 years ago, when Marathon Rubber was there, we were able to get some funds to purchase and demolish that blighted building. We were able to partner with the technical college and build 5 houses. And the tot lot was the very first tot lot in the city of Wausau, and we were so proud of it. And I can tell you, when I drive by, my heart sinks because the equipment it's 20 years old. How did that happen? I'm still 20. So I just say thank you for bringing that to the top of the list.
Bring back all those old memories.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have anybody on
We do.
audio?
Well, I mean, we have people on WebEx. Based on what my directions are telling me here, I have to reboot. So I believe that you guys should stay on the meeting who are on WebEx. I just need to reboot my computer and hopefully that works. So
Okay, stay tuned.
See you soon.
I can go on behalf of Faith in Action while we're doing that.
That'd be great.
Well, no, because we have committee members that are on WebEx. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
That's right, we fall below the threshold for a quorum. Why is that?
I don't literally. Because that's my thing. Gotta keep things no sick. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Right?
Almost in the ethernet.
You hear that noise?
I do. Is that a vent or similar to a radio?
I don't know. Anybody smell smoke? Yeah. Cross your fingers and this is gonna work.
Last week was freezing.
Yes, there's two. All right, someone talk to me.
They're hearing you.
Okay.
Is there a way they can just call into a line?
Yeah, can somebody try speaking one more time? I just checked that, yeah, it's all the way up. So on your agenda, there was, the option to call in. Is that something that they can do? Like, we have a phone here that, or where does it come in?
I think it comes in.
It would just come in here?
Yeah, through the WebEx link.
So then should they just?
That's worth a try.
Okay. All right, can you try calling in, from the agenda? If you need that information, let me know. I can send it in the chat.
This is a text link.
Can someone try talking to me again? Nope, don't hear you. Thought I just tried different. Yep, I'm not hearing anybody out on WebEx land.
I think there was a message that said someone needed a number.
You got the agenda?
I do.
Thank you.
Is this a 408 number?
Jamie, do you know how to fix this?
You know.
Because I'm here in person.
Hey, it's
They go like
30%.
touch it, and it would explode or something, so.
Wait, what did that say?
Anyway.
Go to speaker microphone settings.
Oh, we've never had this.
That's weird. Can somebody talk to me again?
Keep the mute off.
Oh, wait, are you there? Anybody there? All right, now try. talking to me one more time? See that, that says that that's supposed to be on according to the directions. So, I'm just literally don't understand.
Switch for overhead speakers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I just forgot. Master's on.
This needs to be.
Or what does that mean? The way it's on, all on.
The gentleman to go while they try to figure it out, or?
Yeah, because they can hear us.
Yeah.
Or Ruth could call his cell phone.
Well, I just, sorry, that's not.
Yeah, we're trying to get everybody on their phones.
Can they hear though? They can hear.
I think they can hear.
Yeah, just need a means for their voice to get to a mic.
Well, I've tried, yeah, just different ones to see if something else will work. Has everybody called in, or have you just been waiting to see if I can fix it?
Until you.
Just chat with me. We have a few on phones, but sounds like it's not working in here then. Yes.
Try this to do one, so
Try what?
having someone talk again.
All right, can someone try talking again?
Or maybe you go back to the, where your audio is to you.
Oh my gosh.
All right, can somebody talk to me on the WebEx, please? I can hear you people out there, somebody talk to me.
I have a huge.
Okay, I think we've got it.
We have it.
I hear voices.
Everybody's gonna have to mute themselves so we don't have a lot of.
Oh,
Thank you, Jamie.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, Eric?
we are ready for another presentation.
Ruth?
Ruth, can you hear us?
Maybe Ruth has technical difficulties now. All right. I'll just go since I'm up here.
Okay.
And,
How can you hear me?
oh,
we can hear you.
yep,
My phone.
go ahead, Ruth.
Okay, so you can hear me online?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
My phone, thank you. I'm really sorry. This is really a colorful meeting. Okay, I am Ruth and the program director from Faith in Action. And we are an organization that connects compassionate volunteers with senior neighbors who are 60 and older by building strong relationships as trusted advocates based on empathy, offering quality services at no charge whatsoever to the seniors who are living in their homes. We want to keep them in their homes as long as feasibly possible. All services are provided regardless of income, religious belief, or ethnic background. The types of services we do provide are transportation to medical appointments and grocery shopping. We do friendly visiting in person and on the phone. This prevents social isolationism. We do safety wellness phone calls to just make sure that there is medication, that they are taken care of, that they have adequate food supply. And we do food delivery from the Neighbor's Place food pantry to 50 of our particular care receivers, as well as we will deliver groceries from grocery stores. As the senior resident population is steadily growing, Faith in Action services have proven to be a necessary, viable option to assist seniors to live independently in their own homes, which also has a substantial savings to taxpayers. In 2020, we relieved the tax burden by preventing institutionalized care of $100,300 per person per year. We also, by providing our services, saved our own seniors $143,000. Funding that we are requesting is to help us sustain the present services while strategically preparing for future growth and expansion to accommodate the boost in requests for needed services. Presently, 60% of our care receivers live below the poverty line, and Faith in Action continues to be a dispensable and unprecedented service, serving residents who live directly in the city of Wausau as well as throughout Marathon County. Are there any questions?
No questions. Thank you, Ruth.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for your time.
What was that?
Hi, could Adaptive go next?
Sure.
Awesome, thank you. So we own Adaptive Communities, which is a social activity center here in Wausau. So we work with a middle to higher functioning group here in town. We currently serve about 48 to 50 members. Our main focus, especially after COVID, is reintegration into the community safety, independent living skills, and then we also work with the CART team to address mental health issues.
Lately, we've been communicating with anybody who takes large groups. So today, our big outing was going to downtown Wausau around and working with the Paranormal Society. And they told us the history behind our old buildings and then gave us a little spook. It integrated our members into learning about where they live and their background of their neighborhood and our community, and then it also gave them and got them into like the holiday spirit with October being here. We currently have 8 staff members. Our ratio to member is about 1 staff to 5 members, depending upon the day. We are currently asking the Block Grant Committee for 5 months rent to help with our new building, along with expanding to more members. We had to expand our building last year, if you remember us through the CARES grant. Our new building is still on the bus route with handicap accessible bathrooms. It's bigger, cleaner, safer for our members, and it just gives us the variety to have more activities, projects, get them involved into the community or have the community come towards us.
Any questions?
You guys kind of know us, we've been here a few times, so no baby for me this year. She's at daycare, so.
No questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
May I go next, please?
Sure.
Okay, my name is Kathy Buckley, and I'm with Keep Area Teens Safe. We have been with the community block grant prior. We are a shelter Bridge to services for kids in unstable situations in Marathon County. We have been open since March 15th. During that time, our staffing was projected at 8 staff members, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We've seen that need for
think that's just her,
I think it's
her
her
camera.
Kathy, if you can hear us,
Excuse me?
we lost you. We're having some
I can't.
issues. I don't know if it's you or us.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I'm just not, let me, well, it's turned up as, right. And when our first projected opening was, and what we're finding as we have served 14 kids in the community since March 15th, 9 have been Marathon County, which 5 of those have been from Wausau. The other counties, other youth came from Everest, Mosinee, from outside Marathon County. Through have also noticed a much more in-depth need for a master degree social worker for assessing goals for mental and emotional and social growth, which we highly promote here at Keep Area Teens Safe, and working with youth to be able to either return home or possibly look for other living arrangements, but having a plan once they leave our facility. And through the work of a master degree social worker, we would be able to provide that treatment and safety plans once the youth does leave our community, our shelter here, our CATS community.
Where's the buffer? Yeah, I think it's on her side.
Advisory board, which does include several individuals throughout the community, meeting once a month to review the needs, not only in the schools, but in the community as well. We are currently collaborating with therapy clinics, the Boys and Girls Club, Middle Grounds, the YMCA, the Wausau School, Mosinee School, and DC Everest School District. Would help us meet again the amount.
Kathy, if you can hear us, we're having problems with you, with your audio cutting out. I think she's gone.
Maybe send her a chat, just to like call in.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
Well, we have comments. We missed the last minute or so of your presentation. Your buffering was, your video was gone. We turned off your video to
Okay, I
make
apologize.
the
I must have
audio.
lost connection.
Yeah, we tried to do that, but it didn't work.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who's up next? Do we have any more presenters left on then? TJ, are you there?
Would like to go if possible.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you. My name is Megan. I am the program director at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I'm joined with Linda Kepke, executive director. Linda, you're on mute yet. Anyway, Big Brothers Big Sisters serves area youth, and we are happy to see numbers starting to pick up after COVID, but we have of course seen that dip as other places. As program director and former match specialist, working directly with matches, I know the impact that mentors have had on their littles, specifically that they have helped to encourage children to get back to school with their attendance, help with homework assignments,
help boost confidence and really encourage those kids to go after, chase their dreams. I'm thinking of one match in particular with a Wausau police officer, and the officer has helped his little brother to really achieve those goals and go into wrestling, go into football, things that his family didn't believe in him, and so now he has that mentor, that positive support to back him and know that he can achieve those things. He is getting better grades in high school, and his attendance has improved, his confidence, his social skills. When I talk with this youth on a monthly basis, it's just so impressive how he can, from when I first started talking to him and he would barely look at me, to now that he is not only looking at me, but also showing more enthusiasm about what he has to talk about and expressing himself more so. Mentors all over just have a great impact on the youth, as we have seen. In 2019, we were able to serve 102 Wausau area children. In 2020, we were able to serve 66. And as I mentioned before, I'm excited to see those numbers grow as we pick back up from COVID. With the money, we would be able to serve 10 children and support those 10 matches.
Does anybody have any questions concerning this? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, this is TJ. I could go next.
That'd be great.
All right. So my name is TJ Nixich. I'm at the City of Wausau Engineering Department. We are proposing the reconstruction of Tourney Ave from Townline Road to Mcdonald Street. This is a similar project to what we presented on last year and is currently being constructed on McIndoe Street. So last year we selected about 5 different one-block projects and brought that to the SISM committee, and they decided to go with McIntosh. Tourney was the second selection last year, so that is what SISM decided to propose for CDBG funding this year. With this grant, we would completely reconstruct the road, repair any broken, cracked, misaligned sidewalk, not using the CDBG funds, but the Wausau utility would be replacing all of the water and sewer beneath the road, and then they would also be replacing the lead lines that go from the water main to the orb stump at the right-of-way. And then with this project, the water department also reaches out to the homeowners, and there is funding through the DNR that they can get a $3,000 grant to replace the rest of that water service to their homes. They would have a completely brand new service from water main to their home, basically for free, by using this community block grant fund and the DNR funding. So this would facilitate 26 properties that are along this road. The average assessment for our projects is around $4,000, and that covers the road, curb, sidewalk, drive aprons that need to be replaced, and then also a $500 sanitary service replacement, which would be covered by the sanitary utility. So, is there any questions?
No questions. Thank you, TJ.
All right, thank you.
Well, I guess that means I'm the last one.
And we're out of presenters. Oh, we have you. The best for last,
Yeah,
as they
that's
say.
it. We are putting in an application for blight elimination of $50,000. You may remember that the last time we requested funds for blight elimination was 2018. Since then, we haven't. We finally utilized that pot of money last year. Last year. We were able to utilize those funds to help with the acquisition and demolition of the Ponderosa site. of which then is now out for redevelopment. And there's a multi-unit apartment complex going up there, of which half of it needs to be for affordable housing. We've demolished a very blighted property on the corner of 2nd Street and DeKalb to help with those vacant lots that we can put out for development in that area. We're able to help Department of Public Works demolish a building that they purchased so that they could enhance their yard waste site. And the last one was on Kent Street. We worked with a nonprofit so that they can enhance their ability to reach out to more clients and that utilize the funds. Good news is that I think we have a better relationship with the county when they're taking properties back, that we're talking again than what we had been previously. So there are a ton of properties that are on their radar because they're tax delinquent 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Once they get it back, they notify us, so we kind of get first dibs at it, and if the property is far gone, we have the opportunity to purchase, demolish, redevelop, or say, nope, we're going to let the general public try to do it first, and if then they can't do it, then we can come in too. So it's I'm hoping that we might be able to tackle more of these properties out there that have issues. Any questions? Yeah, Tom.
Thanks, Tammy. So is this, currently there are no specific properties this would be geared toward, but do you anticipate that some will come online in the future and these funds would then be applied in that way? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And how it works too is we do need to go to city council to get approval to purchase any property, but it would be utilizing the block grant funds to access it. Now, if it was working with, like with 2nd and DeKalb, that TIF funds were actually used to acquire it, but then we were able to use block grant funds to demolish it. And we work with our Department of Public Works to demolish, so it saves the cost of hiring a contractor, so we're able to get quite a few more projects done. Yeah, Andrew.
Thanks, Tammy. Question, you had mentioned that the general public can get involved with voicing their opinions on some of these properties and whatnot. Can you just go into more detail on that? And is it the norm to kind of let them go or kind of give their 2 cents first? Or?
Well, usually when we are interested in a property, we have to take that proposal to economic development and or finance, depending on the source of funds. Usually if it's all block grant funds, we just go to economic development committee because it's not going to affect the city budget. From there, it has to go to city council. So the residents have several opportunities to discuss it if they're interested. Every once in a while, we'll get a phone call saying, hey, I own this property, we don't want it anymore, would the city buy it, or can we donate it? And obviously, we're not in the habit of just taking properties because someone doesn't want to handle it anymore. It's got to make sense. So we turn down a lot of properties that way. We've bought a few, we've had some donated. It really has to make sense as to what are we doing. So no, I don't have any properties on the top of the list right now, but we have a list probably this long, a full sheet of paper from what the county's taking back. Yes.
Thank you. I just had a question regarding the code definition. So this is under its own code, so it's
yes.
slum and blight. So will that money be taken from somewhere else, or is this just a whole new fund that will not affect any of the percentages that we are allowed to?
It does, yeah, it doesn't affect any of the percentages anywhere. The only percentages we have to worry about is the 15% for the public service, and then the 20% for admin. After that, what we call economic development and public facilities, there's no cap. We can direct as much money as we want to. But it's a good question. Any other question of this application? Okay.
Okay, so we'll move on to item number 3 on our agenda. We'll open a public hearing to receive comments on previous community development funded activities and the development of the 2022 annual plan for community development block grant and public housing. So we are open.
If anybody wants to make a comment on anything that we've done in the past or doing or think that something we should be doing, this is your opportunity to speak. If not,
Would anyone else?
oh, John wants to say something.
Thanks. I just had a question regarding some of the park services that were voted on in the past. I just wanted to get an update on where those parks, have they been updated or are they still slated to be updated? Or I guess that's something maybe we can look at in the future, but.
No, it's a good question as part of my update of a little bit that I was going to do in a little bit, but it's a good question. And technically in public, the public hearing part, we're just supposed to listen in, take your comments.
We like to be technical.
And then not really respond, but I don't think people will object if I answer the question. We did Oak Island Park, and that one was completed, and it's beautiful. Marathon Park finished this last spring, summerish. That one's amazing. Riverside is the one that we're doing this year. They're in the planning process of it right now. Usually what happens is they figure out what equipment they're going to get. They're going to purchase it this year, and then next spring they tear down the old and put in the new, and it has the wonderful fall protection. And if you haven't gone to Marathon Park, go jump on that fall protection because it is the coolest feeling. Try falling, I guess, whatever you want to do. But it's cool. So because of the block grant funds, they're able to afford to do those extra amenities.
Is there anyone else that would like to present on this question? Is there anyone else that would like to present on this question? Is there anyone else that would like to present on this question? Having said that 3 times, we will close the public hearing and move on to item number 4, discussion of the 2022 CDBG program year process. Tammy.
Okay, this is where we get to talk about what's coming up. This is the fun part, right? Or the agonizing part. Okay, next steps. Thank you for all of you making it. I know this is a hard session to sit through sometimes, but I think we've got some great applications again. Next step is Shannon and I will put together all the information. We have the applications that we received. They're flying in today. What I would like from everybody is to know who likes a hard copy, which is a binder with everything, who does not want a hard copy, just likes things emailed. That way we know what we need to prepare. If it's a hard copy, we ask that once it's ready, you come pick it up. If you can't do that, let us know and we can deliver it to your house or meet you or do something. But we'd like to be able to give you enough time to put everything together for our working session, which is on the 27th. Okay? So I guess, I don't know if we want to take the time now or if everybody can just email me and say, or Shannon, I don't care, say, hard copy, email it to me.
Or just do a show of hands real quick.
Show of hands, hard copy.
Are you going to take notes?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you hear my hand?
Do not put your hand down. See, is your hand up or down?
Was it yes?
Okay, thank you.
All right, got it all.
You got it? Oh, okay. We can do that. John does not want a binder, he just wants the paper.
Oh.
We can do that. Okay, the other thing we're doing is trying something different. When we went through some subrecipient training through HUD, they recommend that we do some sort of a scoring sheet. So we were trying to take a look at what other communities do. I'll be honest with you, this isn't going to be easy. I expect a lot of you to complain to us. We're also looking for ways that we can make this better. And if you think it doesn't work, I want you to tell us this doesn't work. I like how we used to do it. We did email this to you, so it has, you can just plop in your numbers and it'll auto calculate. But we have hard copies here that I'm going to let you take a look at, and if you want to trying to lick my fingers.
This already came in?
It came in an email, but we can redo it because that was a while ago.
Yeah, I sent it shortly after I created it, so.
Excel file.
Yeah, because it's got calculations on there, so that's the easiest.
I've been doing a rating system for years. It works great.
So we should have had you create this.
Well, I wasn't asked.
So again, we're not looking for
I bet it is.
absolutes at this point. What we're looking for, and some of this is going to be kind of confusing, I know that. What we're looking for, like the very first one where it says goals identified with a maximum of 20 points, basically the application should meet one of these criteria. It might meet 3 of the criteria. And you might say, okay, like with the blight elimination. Okay, you look at it and say, yep, it meets blight elimination, but I don't think it's that important, I'm just gonna say 10. Or you might think blight elimination is really important, so I wanna put 20 on. Does that kind of make sense on that? And again, we're all gonna have different opinions, and that's what I love about this committee is that you all have different opinions and we can talk it through.
So this is kind of like a digital craps table.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yes?
Just to clarify a little bit, I guess, are we doing one of these sheets per request?
Per request, correct.
And then in the first line here, we got 20 points, so would we want to say like 5 points for homeless, 10 points for that? I mean, do we divvy the?
You divvy it up, or you give 20 points to one.
Okay.
Or you give 0 to all of them, any of them, because you don't feel that that application met any of the criteria that's on.
So I don't have to allocate 20 no matter what and have it
Correct.
however? Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
It should equal 100, but that doesn't mean it has to equal 100. Andrew?
Just curious, will these, I guess, our answers, will they remain anonymous?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Unless you want to share, which you guys end up sharing.
Yeah, you're, like, there's nowhere for you to sign on there or anything, so.
Sure. And if I could just make another comment that with our foundation, that we use a similar style of scoring for grant applications.
Okay.
So I'm on board.
Wonderful. And if you see ways that yours works better than ours, we love the feedback.
I like yours almost better.
Oh, funny.
But thank you.
Because I'm not sure I'm a fan yet, but we'll get there. The other question I have about the working session is how do you feel about meeting in person in the big room back there? That way it's in person, we can have a better conversation and dialogue. I'm not going to make anybody feel uncomfortable. I believe we can do WebEx back there, but then we're able to at least have a conversation. This feels so cold. I like when we can talk personally, yes. Are you comfortable with that?
Pam's good with it, Lana's good with it.
And if you guys are really okay with it, we'll bring pizza, like we used to. Okay.
She's good with it.
Okay.
C is good?
If you really don't want to be in person, just let us know, because we can have it set up for WebEx, and you can attend that way. But as you see, this just doesn't work, and if you've been on that side, it's hard to talk. It's hard to say your opinion, and we want to hear from all of you.
Yeah, and we got through last year okay, but I mean, it was
painful.
It was painful, right.
Emily? There's a meeting room, like if you go out through that back door here, if you go through the hallway, it's going to take you through. It's a bigger room.
The big meeting room.
So you can spread out a little bit, but still.
It's got a tree name on it, doesn't it?
Oh, they're all trees, and I get them confused. That's maple, okay. That's why I don't say what room it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any questions about what's going to happen? We have some new members, so I hope if they reach out to you, you help them through the process. It doesn't mean you tell them what to do, but if they say, hey, how do I score this? I just can't I can't understand how to get by this. You help them out. Or you bounce things off, but you can't get too many people together. We can't have a walking quorum, but you can bounce things off of each other just to make sure that you're understanding what you want. Or you call me, or you call Shannon. Okay, we're all here, we're all in it together, so we want to make this work as best as we can. Okay?
Kylie?
What is your timeline on the binders and hard copy being ready to rock?
If all goes awesome, it would be Friday, but I have a feeling it's going to be Monday or Tuesday. I already know what my calendar looks like tomorrow. But it depends on the copy machine and if we can break it or not. But yes, as soon as they're ready, I will let you know. We'll be emailing you.
Okay.
Anything else on that one?
Then we'll go to number 5, the update on the 2021 year.
Okay, just wanted to let you know where we are with the 2020 year. We received, as you know, we received notification from HUD in February as to what our allocation was, and it was very close to what we were anticipating. So we were able just to put the plan together, get it to finance and council and their approval so we could send it on to HUD. HUD took approximately 3 months for them to get us a contract, which is normal. However, once they approved our plan, which was in June, middle of June, I believe, we started working on contracts with the subrecipients so they could start spending our money. Once we got the money in our drawing ability, then we were able to reimburse them for their expenses. So it's able to help get that money out the door without having them to wait until, I think we got the funding mid-August. And again, if you remember, and the newer members aren't going to remember this, but we do have a timeliness factor where we have to have a lot of the money drawn by October 31st. And when you get the money in August and you have 2.5 months to spend it, it's very difficult. And I'll be honest, I'm nervous about this year. As TJ said, the street project on McIntosh, I believe they will be laying concrete next week. So we should be done mid-October, which is a big part of the money, so that should help. The Community Partners Campus finally closed on Monday, so that helped. As you remember, we allocated $150,000 towards that one, so that helps our timeliness, and I'm so excited that they can finally start the renovations and start moving that hopefully next year at this time. The new warming center will be in there, and a lot of the nonprofits will be in there. We talked about the parks. The other thing to let you know, there is a housing study. It's called a Metro Wausau Area Housing Assessment that North Central Wisconsin Regional Planning is looking to put together. They are requesting all the municipalities to assist in the cost of this. Marathon County is fronting a majority of it. Regional Planning is putting in $10,000 themselves. Then they're divvying it up based on size of the municipality. They're requesting that Wausau pay $7,500, which ends up being 13% of the total budget, which I think is very fair because Wausau is one of the biggest municipality in Marathon County. And because it's going to talk about housing needs, what do we have, what do we need, all sorts of things that is block grant eligible. I know I saw a puppy. Block grant funds can be utilized to do this study, and then I keep saying it's a study, it's an assessment, and then we'll be able to utilize those tools into what do we need to do, what can we do, and do some of our projects align with what needs to be done. But if you hear of what's happening out there, Economic Development approved it last night. It will be going to City Council next week for their approval. And then we'll be working with Regional Planning and see what happens with that. But that's kind of all I have right now. Anything I'm missing? Yes.
I have a couple comments. On the evaluation form, you'll notice the last section, the documentation requirement. You don't see that. We see that. So I suppose they could leave it blank.
I would say just leave it blank, or we can fill it in for you too somehow.
Or you can ask.
Yeah.
Like whatever you feel like doing. Because all of that stuff comes to us. If they've received funds before, we might have that on file, unless things have changed with board of directors or insurance or anything like that, or tax exemption letters. And the other thing I wanted to say too is if any of you, I have these sessions recorded, so if you want to re-listen to any of the presentations, let me know when I can send them, so.
That would be exciting.
And would it?
Yes.
Okay.
This is probably a long shot, but is there any way we could get the CATS lady to record her?
We just talked.
Yeah, I actually suggest, I'm gonna send her an email and ask her to create a video, and then I'll send that out to you guys, so.
Okay, do we have anything else? Any questions?
Do we feel comfortable about this, or as comfortable as we can?
I feel great.
Excellent. Well, I'm excited about this. I thank you again, because I know this is a lot of work, but it's fun work. And I'm excited to see what the discussion will be in about 3 weeks. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Now, would someone like to make Dave Ackerman's favorite motion? Kylie for adjournment, second. Andrew, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for putting up with everything, everybody that's online. And can't wait to see y'all in person.